Chaz here, Crossbone Outfitters, and going to be talking to you about the BFL number 2. My finish was not anywhere near where it should have been. Just had one of those days, trouble landing some solid fish, and the pattern I was on in practice didn't pan out nearly as well as what I'd hoped. Another thing is, unlike last time, I'm not going to be able to show you a whole lot of the tournament day. Because unfortunately the power to my GoPro went out, and instead of paying attention to my GoPro, I was paying attention more to what was going with the fish and fishing, and concentrating on really putting together a good bag. I was in a good area with a lot of big fish. Unfortunately, like I said, I lost a 6 way back into the Toolies, and lost a 3 at the first part of the day. That 9-pound change really would have set me up good. Probably put me in the top 30 or 20. Anyway, to show you what I went through with practice, you'll see a good video of this. Me catching a 5.5-pounder on again Richie Head's Golden Shiner vibrating swim jig. These things are legit. They're the real deal. Being able to throw these into the Toolies and slowly work them out, it worked out well. I was fishing a little bit deeper water than I was during the last tournament, so I had to work it a lot slower. And it worked out in practice. I was very confident it was going to work out during the tournament day. Unfortunately, it did not. Like I said, a lot of my fish either had moved or were in a completely negative mood. The other 2 baits that I used, this one is it's probably going to turn into being kind of one of my favorite patterns here. I may not be using the BB Cricket, as you can see here, but doing this with this salt skirt, and it's a custom kicker jigs, a salt skirt, the same hand-tied living rubber skirt, except for it's in a punch rig, and it's got some lead in it. We weighed it. It, as a skirt alone, weighs about 1/8 of an ounce. And then topping it off with my big 2-ounce tungsten weight. I did have 2 bobber stops ahead of it, and for good reason. What happens is, as you're working it through the cover, and sometimes the weight will move the bobber stops. You'll burn through one, which I did. And then kicking out with 80-pound P-line TCB8 8-strand carrier. I like the 8-strand carriers, and I like the 80-pound braid for the kind of fishing that I was doing. Using a Revo SX high-speed reel, 7-to-1 gear ratio, with a Villain 2.0 7-foot 11-inch extra heavy meat stick, as I call it. And you really need this heavy rod to be able to pull the fish out of the heavy cover. And then I use these Owner flipping hooks, heavy jungle flipping hooks. Probably my favorite flipping hook. It's got a good closed out line tie, so you can do your snell knot. You don't have to worry about it creeping up into the eye itself. All right. And then the BB Cricket. One thing I like about this, take away the 2-ounce giant weight on the front of it, and all it is a little finesse jig. And that's all you're doing back there. When the fish get real deep in the mats, a lot of times they're not very aggressive. So you kind of finesse them out once you get through there. And the only difference being is that you're using that 2-ounce tungsten weight trying to get it deep inside that cover. Um, and what you do after that is you have it hanging over the piece of cover, and you kind of just lift and let it fall, lift it, let it fall, lift it up, kind of shake it against the top, let it fall away to the bottom, kind of leave it there for a second, and then kind of hop it. And usually you'll get the bite at some point in time when it pauses, especially with this living rubber skirt. The living rubber really just flares out and opens up really good. And another thing that I was using, this is what I lost the big fish using, was just a 2-ounce weight with what I call a naked bait on it. And when I like to suspend a naked bait and just kind of let it flap there, I like to use these missile baits D-bombs, especially in this bruiser flash color. Lessons learned in this particular tournament. I had a lot of very high expectations that the flipping game was going to be it, and I went out there knowing I was only going to flip for about for 5 bites. I got 5 decent bites. Unfortunately, I failed to follow through with them, and that's on me. So what that tells me is what I need to do is I need to get back out on that lake, and I need to just focus on my flipping game. Until I'm getting right near 100% hookup ratio. And everybody knows that when you're flipping, there's a very real chance you can lose some of those fish in there. Did I set the hook too early? Did I set it too late? Did I wait too long? I couldn't tell you. I don't know exactly where the fault was on my end, but there was a fault on my end that I didn't get a very good hookup there. So with that being said, that's what I'm going to go work on. I'm going to go work on that flipping game. I'm going to go work on ensuring that I get those good solid hook sets. In addition to that, I also need to make sure, and I broke one of my major rules for this tournament. I locked down on an area that was probably about the size of, I don't know, Olympic-sized swimming pool. And that's what we fished for a good 5.5, 6 hours out of the 8-hour tournament. I ended up using this on the way back. I knew about a big bay that was going to be holding a bunch of fish. Unfortunately, I didn't want to fish there for the tournament, mainly because just like what I thought, there was going to be a ton of boats in there. And I personally don't like fishing in high traffic areas. Which is funny because the 2-pounder that I show in the picture from the tournament actually came from that area, from literally maybe about 20 feet behind a boat. And as soon as it passed the lily pad, cast straight to that lily pad, let it fall, lift it up, let it fall, and she struck it. So if you finesse them, you can fish around a lot of heavy pressure. The guys in California do it all the time. They fish these tiny lakes that get about 150 boats on them. And they got to figure out how to finesse them. That's where I learned the finesse game. Before I moved out there, I was not good at a finesse game. I couldn't do it, didn't have the patience for it, didn't have the confidence in it. But I need to go back to those roots and apply them out on Lake Okeechobee. I think it's going to do well for me in the future. Use that to your advantage too. Don't let my failure be your failure. All right. Let my learning experience be your learning experience, and take what I'm taking away from this tournament and apply it to your next one. Make sure you got 2 or 3 game plans going on, and if you make those game plans, use them. Don't get so locked on a place that you feel like you have to fish right there. Because quite frankly, you can sit there and try to coax these fish into biting all day. If they're not there, they're just not there, and it's just weightless. And you have to go find them. A lake like Okeechobee, they're always biting somewhere. Doesn't matter what the conditions are. They will always be biting somewhere, and somebody's going to find them. And with that being said, I didn't do that this time, and yeah, I paid the price for it. It's okay. Total year standing, I'm still in top 50. I'm sitting at 47 out of roughly about 220 boats in the Gator division. So still not doing too bad. I got a lot of work left to do to move higher up in the ranks. But I feel confident I can continue to do that, and hopefully make it to the regionals up on Lake Lanier in Georgia come next fall. So until next time. Again, just remember what you learned here. Watch some of the videos from the catches during my practice period, and hopefully you get a chance to learn something yourself. And make sure you like, comment, follow. Make sure you check us out. Check us out over at crossbowoutfitters.com. This video will be posted there. This video will be posted both on my personal YouTube account and Crossbow and Outfitters YouTube account. So make sure you're checking out both of them. Subscribe to both of them. Crossbow and Outfitters is going to have a lot more than just me. We're going to have Clay's going to be giving some deck top talks. He'll be giving some of his post-tournament spiels. And Clay's a very, very, very consistent fisherman, very good guy to have around, and we can all learn a lot from him. So, until next time, thank you, and have a wonderful day.